with the ANSPs of surrounding countries. So hopefully it will stay the same for the next days.
This is really interesting, actually, how it develops, because we do have the balloons. It's an international event. And tell me a bit about, sometimes the ATC do get in touch and want to know what's happening. What happens?
Yeah, actually, so we during the initial part of the coordination, because you refer to ATC control, but actually what I did was mainly getting some strategic level entry permissions for the countries. So it's not mostly what is considered to be a traffic control as it is, but it's rather planning and contacting with the neighboring countries to get the permissions. So we've already received some information, initial information on the restricted airspace from some countries, and actually it's our job now to just to monitor and let the crews as soon as possible know that they may not be able to access some airspace. They already have been briefed during the general briefing a couple of days ago, but still there's in aviation we have this strategic planning a long time ahead, and then we go to a pre-tactical phase. And this is what the briefing was about. And now we have the tactical phase when they are already flying, and you have to coordinate it in real time. So basically the airspace in Germany is, for example, one that we have some restrictions. And also if you can have a look at the map, there are the red zones, and they have to be avoided by the crews. So they cannot actually enter the red zones, and they have to be in a very narrow corridor between the Russian and Belarusian territory.
So that's where you can see the tracks heading that way now. Swiss 3 out in the lead, getting close to that Kaliningrad gate. We do have the water of Kaliningrad. Can you tell me a bit about the high seas?
Yeah, the high seas is the area actually not being a territory of a. I mean, you refer to Russian Federation, I believe. So yes. It's not the territory of Russian Federation. It's just the area that the Russian air navigation service providers provides flight information service and other ATS services, that, as we call them in aviation business, to the pilots. So it's not necessarily something that is considered to be a sovereign territory of the country, but it's just an airspace where you have to be in contact with Russian flight information service or whatever ATC there is.
We had some thoughts yesterday that some teams could be heading west, picking up an east wind at some point today. Nobody's going there yet, but if they do head west, there's a couple of problems there with weather and some exercises going on.
Yeah, that's right. So actually what you can see here is that a couple of teams have stayed around Turin. They are no further than probably maybe 50 kilometers from Turin, and they are expecting the winds to go in western directions, but this may be also a bit tricky because we have northwest of Berlin. We have some military exercises that we have been already warned about, and they have to circumnavigate as the military areas may not always be accessible for the balloons to overfly. And so this is one thing, and the other thing you mentioned is also the weather topic. So we also have some predictions of the thunderstorms being approaching from north west of Germany actually. And this will maybe an additional obstacle for the participants. So just they need to overfly the German territory from the north, even maybe some Denmark border and this way.
Interesting stuff, isn't it? It's all developing. Got the teams heading off there. We've got the 3 teams that stopped and landed this morning, heading down southeast because of the territory that they can't pass. Potential thunderstorms, war games going on. It's all happening, isn't it?
It is. It is actually happening now. So it's just the time that I realized how many effort it takes, and I would like to also thank to another members of my team, which is Kasia Zielińska from Airspace Management Cell in Poland, is in Polish Air Navigation Services Agency, to be here with me. And thank you, Kasia, because otherwise we won't be able to, I think, close the flight plans so in a very brief and fast way. So you that's what I wanted.
Oh, thank you, Kasia. Thank you. If we could just bring the screen down a little bit, I just want to have a look at the team. Austria won there, and we can just lift it up so we can see where they landed. This track here that we can see, this is actually the tracker is still on in the car. We've had a little bit of a technical issue with getting the tracker switched off after they've landed. So if you are looking at the tracking and wondering why they're now heading west, it's because they're on the way back to us. So they have landed, and we've got Austria 1 and Poland 3 and USA 1 on the ground. But a little bit earlier, we caught up on Zoom with the team back home at the headquarters for Swiss 1. Let's have a look. Vincent in the headquarters for Swiss 1. Thank you for joining us on Bennett TV.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice meeting you again, and you just do a great job, and we just love all the energy and all the what you prepare. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much. You guys do a great job as well. You've got Nicolas and Laurent up in the skies. Are they where you would have thought they were going to be? Let's keep that as a first question.
No, I think it's in the last editions of the Gordon Bennett, it was always quite difficult to predict where the balloons will be in the next 24 hours, but it's part of the game, and I think it gives a lot of new opportunities, and it's really something that puts more spice in the race. So it's quite good.
We've got an exciting race on our hands now. We've got 3 teams down. We've got Austria 1, just over 400 kilometers, a target to beat. It's interesting times, today?
Exactly. So they just put the one first goal that we need to go beyond, and it's very interesting because the change in the meteorological environment gives new possibilities, and there is a lot of chance for all the teams that are still on the race to make something very interesting and very interesting trajectories in race.
And what do you predict now for the teams that we've got in the centre block? Is everybody going to be moving up the northeast? Is that what you see over the next few hours? Do you see anybody catching anything, taking them to the west? What do you think is going to happen?
I think everything is open. It's something. I remember when the Gordon Bennett started in Bern, you had all the teams that can go in all directions. And there are still maybe not as much directions, but there are still many opportunities that can be covered by the team, and that's great.
And one question I'm very interested in, Vincent, is the difference between the Swiss teams and the French teams, in so much that at the moment the French are using all one headquarters for all 3 teams, but with Swiss teams you have your individual teams. Can you tell me a bit about this?
Yes, well. I think that's, Fribourg Challenge, Laurent and Nicolas, we are all almost neighbors. So we are used to work together, and we have very good interaction. And I think historically all the teams had their own group, all headquarters, and so it was developed historically like this. And maybe in the future there could be also something else. Why not? And but it's mainly an historical development.
And the guys up there now in the basket, how are they feeling? Are they calm and in control? How's their mood?
Oh, they are very impressive because they are, all the aeronauts are really impressive because they endure a lot of suffering, of suspense, and it was not easy because they were in the thermals, going up and down, and we have seen some trajectories in almost all teams were affected by strong going up and down. And so that was, but they are just great because they are very calm, very professional, very it's really fantastic to work with them.
Great. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can invite you back before the end of the race for more analysis. But for now, Vincent in headquarters, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to the studio. It's Gordon Bennett TV, the 5 o'clock show. Leonid Tiukhtyaev joins us in the studio. We'll be with you in a moment from the Two Eagles team. First of all, let's have a look at the social wall, what we've got happening here. Some nice pictures and images. Don't forget you can get yourselves on the social wall on the hashtag Gordon Bennett 2021. And I'm going to check in with producer Mark, see if we've got any messages from you guys coming through. Producer Mark, any news from the people watching?
Yeah, we have a few people just saying hello. Yeah, like your Chris, Adrian, hello back.
Hi, guys.
We have Slavomir actually asking, what is it about the Ukraine airspace? Is it open or is it closed?
It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good question about the Ukraine airspace. The airspace, it was open, but we got the permission too late. And within the rules, the Gordon Bennett rules, it has to be within a certain time. But we'll get more information on that to you as it comes in. But first of all, I want to talk to this hero of the skies from the Two Eagles, the longest distance flight over the Pacific of a gas balloon, 6,655.9 miles, 160 hours and 34 minutes, 6 days, 16 hours and 34 minutes. An incredible event. It was the June the 12th, 2015, with yourself and the team, with Troy from the United States.
Bradley's great American pilot who established this project, and I was only co-pilot in this project. And we take off from Saga, Japan, flew across Pacific almost 1 week, 7 nights, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nights above ocean. Only ocean, no land, no chance to landing in the middle of our trip.
How much room did you have? If I was Troy, how close together? How much room?
Room was less than 2 meters. Less than 2 meters. It's our bed, and a little bit more than a gondola in Gordon Bennett. A little bit more. 2 meters long and 1.5 meters wide. And a gondola has roof and 1.5 meters.
With
and flying.
With the pandemic, people say, "Oh, I've got to stay at home. I've got to stay in the house. I can't go outside." In a space like that, yes. 2 people for a week.
We have no any problem. We was quietly, accuracy, and stay positive all flight, all time of flight.
What's your? We can see the track here, Leonid.
Yes. From Japan, then across Pacific, Atoll Midway, Hawaiian Island, and at the ending part of our flight, we almost reach Vancouver, Canada, but unexpected choosing wind, and we go 2 days more south, and finally splash down 5 miles before coast and Pacific Ocean. That was final, and we are established 2 world records. Yes, at almost 11,000 kilometers and almost 1 week in flight.
What's your best memory?
Best memory is takeoff moment. We wait takeoff window about 1 month in Japan, day by day. Weather masters calculating possible or not to fly to take off, and it was 25 January 1915. We get take off at a ballast at about 7-ton ballast.
7 tons.
7-ton ballast. This balloon is 10,000 cubic meters, is 10 times more than a usual Gordon Bennett balloon.
Yes.
10 times
10
more.
times more.
Yeah. and we take off and go above the Fujiyama mountain, across the Tokyo, just across the Tokyo. It is incredible view. Tokyo above 6 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah. Very big town. More than Moscow, more than Paris, more than each town I see before. And at the moment, before we go there, coastline, Troy asked me, Leonid, maybe we need a last briefing. Maybe we decided to go ocean, or maybe we decided to land. I go on the gondola, stay here. You need this this line, and I said, briefing is over. Why? The ocean above.
You already passed.
Yes, already passed. Briefing is over.
Wow. It's a commitment. You've committed.
Yes,
you've got the ocean.
yes.
That's it.
We have a little bit problem, such as in the middle of Pacific, our oxygen system was broken. Our oxygen system was broken, and we need to repair it. And we need to repair. At the last moment, we can it to consultate with command center in Albuquerque. And last night, before Mexican splashdown, we flying very closely across tropical thunderstorm.
Right here.
This point. And it was more. It was the best of my flights.
Really?
Really. Thank you.
What was the, over all this time, there must have been a low point or a point in the journey which was hardest?
More hardest point was a broken oxygen system, and one more hardest point was after splashdown. After splashdown, it was dangerous to die because of some problem with gondola.
Right.
Yes, but final was good.
The result was perfect.
Yes.
Wow, what a great story! Thank you very much for joining us. It's the first time I've heard.
Big thanks.
So I've seen the reports, but it's the first time I've heard it from your mind. So it's great to hear.
Thank you. And this slide. Now I read a big book about this slide. Maybe next year I can publish.
We look forward to seeing that. We'll look forward to reading it, and I'm going to be the first to buy a copy. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for the great story. Let's check in with Team Germany, and Sebastian Eimers was on a call a little bit earlier. Let's see what he had to say. Hey Sebastian, can you hear me okay? You're with Germany Free, Chase Crew. What's happening?
Well, right now we are in Danzig, about 150 kilometers north of the takeoff point. And we are in a nice sushi bar and waiting for new information about our team.
It looks like a beautiful place where you are. Who's with you?
Well, I am together with Thomas, my best buddy. And chasing is not always on the road. We look for a few minutes to chill, have good food, and then continue driving.
So we've got the pack of balloons in the center with your father and your brother are right there right now, just in the center of the pack.
That's correct. They are in the center. Yeah, so everything is still open.
And what is your plan now? Do you wait for further instruction, or do you wait there for a while? What happens?
Well, right now we wait for new information. We wait for the forecast. It normally arrives at 2 p.m. and then 3 p.m. it's available. And well, then our commander right there in Germany is working and yeah, is working on the strategy and maybe improving some stuff, some flight instructions. And well, we wait here and later we have to or continue driving.
Okay, well, good luck. Have a fantastic afternoon, and we'll catch up with you for more information as we progress. But for now, Sebastian Imers, thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
We've got some footage here now, which we've just received, actually, while we were on air. It's from Germany 3, looking across at Austria 2. Leonid, they were telling us, Benny was saying the thermal activity. Tell me about the thermals.
Only one word. Did you use elevator in the city? Yes. Thermal is elevator, but you can choose which flow you need. Yes, and we don't need to push button. He goes up, 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 and you need to release gas. If you, when you release gas, for some moment, elevator goes down. And one more. At the middle day, it is usual situation in gas ballooning. Yes. And that's why pilot release gas, drop ballast, release gas, drop ballast. It is a problem. It is a problem, but that is Gordon Bennett.
This is Gordon Bennett, that's it. That's what the race is all about. We checked in as well with the FAI and Secretary General Marcus Hagenay. Let's have a look. Are you ready? Are you recording? Marcus Hagenay joins us, Secretary General of the FAI, our good friend normally here with us at the Gordon Bennett. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, except I'm not with you. But greetings from Lausanne. Very close, of course.
So close, but yet so far.
Indeed. But I have to tell you, thanks to the Gordon Bennett TV, it almost feels like being there. Compliments for promoting the race in such an outstanding manner. It's really nice to follow what you're doing. Very well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. It's a great team. We really enjoy the production we get to do together. What do you think about what's happening with the race right now? It's exciting, eh?
Well, it's as forecast. We have two totally different scenarios possible. We saw the first three ones going southeast. They are down already. And now we need to see how the others manage. I think they were hoping that for another wind system, but too early to call it close. It just keeps on being exciting, and everything is possible still. It all depends on what happens in the next 3 to 4 hours.
Yes, it's going to be exciting to see if anybody can pass through that Kaliningrad gate, if that's going to be on the cards or not, if it's going to be landing before there.
Well, exactly. And then we have sunset coming in. Well, not in 3-4 hours, but in 6 hours we have sunset. And with the wind system in the Baltics, we need to see. But I mean, pilots saw that coming. They were playing with it. They were hovering around close to Torun all through the day. Very interesting, different scenarios. Kudos to the pilots and their teams, of course. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, do you think we're going to get anybody catching any winds coming out of the east, heading west?
Well, that will kick in later, but it's a question of time and when this all happens. And we have nightfall, so I think the airspace is very small to gamble around at night. We have Belarus to the east, we have Kaliningrad mainland to the west. The overall system will establish, but it's not an easy system because we already have a front moving into Poland. It's right now at the border between Germany and Poland. All is forecast, but it's very touchy, very difficult. Pilots need to be very brave and take some bold decisions.
Yeah, indeed they do. A busy time for the FAI for you guys over there in Lausanne. It feels like every competition that could possibly be happening has been happening this last week. Everything's been going on. The World Parachuting Championships, the gliders, the balloons, the hot airs, the juniors.
Indeed, and two aerobatics events as well. So a lot happening right now. But our air sport commissions, of course, had rescheduled some of their events to later this year because of the pandemic. In the end, it's good that our sports kind of restarts after 1.5 years, which were very tough. But it keeps us busy. Well, it keeps our pilots busy and our commissions busy. But it's good to see that air sport is gradually recovering, and yeah, interesting times. It's good to see activities in the sky again, definitely.
Yes, it is. It just feels like everything's opening up. What's your feeling from there, from Lausanne, from their headquarters? Does it feel like the pandemic is allowing us to continue, or does it feel like we're in a bit of a calm waters and it's going to all close down again? What do you feel like it's going to be like?
It's difficult. It's really difficult to say, because our air sport event usually require a lot of logistics, travel, cargo, buying tickets early, and people are reluctant to engage in expensive bookings, so they wait until the very last moment. As an example, later this year we have a paragliding world championship in Argentina, relocated from France. From what I heard, it's all progressing very well, but still there is a certain risk because countries may just decide to shut down their country overnight, more or less. And that puts quite a big burden on our officials, our pilots, crew members, and so on and so on. And also, since most of our air sport activities happen in the Northern Hemisphere, our main season really is about to end in September, mid-October. And so we look at a 6-week window ahead of us. And then things will slow down anyhow, because we now have, we will then have the winter in the Northern Hemisphere. We need to see. But fingers crossed, people are highly motivated. Commissions really, really work hard to keep air sport up and running. And there's a big appetite in our community, whatever air sport we talk about, to meet again and fly, skydive, and have a good time together.
And talking about that on a personal level, the reason we're all here is because we're all aviators. We love being in the sky. You have really took the bite again with paragliding.
Yes, indeed. I always wanted to do this since I was a young boy, actually. And as you know, I did ballooning. I did my license in 1979, and I am still a happy and proud balloon pilot. But since I'm now working in Switzerland and living, I see the mountains, I see the beauty of the nature. So I gave it a try 2 years ago. Despite the pandemic, I could do some flights. And in the end, 6 weeks ago, I managed to do my paragliding license through. And I enjoy it very much. All you need, like you, Regan, when you do a skydive, it's on your back. You walk up the hill, you fly down, you meet friends, you enjoy the nature and enjoy just being in the sky. It's nice.
Absolutely, we do. That's what it's all about. Resets the mind and clears the soul. So from being there in the office, I know you're a busy man, but which teams, I mean, if you don't want to say anything, I don't want to push you, but who would you be watching? Who are you keeping your eye on now? Who do you think could surprise us in the Gordon Bennett?
Well, I mean, the Gordon Bennett is always full of surprises. You have to watch for everyone in every team. We have seen. Answer. I mean, it's not politically correct, but it is, because it's the reality.
Yes.
You see pilots coming and making it to the podium, which you didn't know before, and others who had victory several times. It's full of surprises, and this is, for me, the beauty of the whole Cooper Aeronautic Gordon Bennett, that there's so much in it which adds stories, even drama sometimes, excitement, disappointment, friendship, fighting, the whole thing. It's so full of emotions, and all the teams come up and arrive fully loaded with all this energy, ready to fly and still have a good time. So it is a very, very interesting race. So to come back to your question, every team flying is on my radar, and even those 3 who landed already are on my radar, because they placed themselves in quite an interesting position, which has to be beaten.
Yeah.
The race is not over yet, and even the first 3 ones will play a role in the end, I'm convinced.
Great analysis, Marcus. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to have a conversation with you, and hopefully we can catch up again just before the end of the race, just to see how things are panning out.
Anytime, and I will keep on watching. And again, kudos and compliments to you and your team, and please pass on my regards to the organizers who did put together another great Gordon Bennett race this year. It's really fun to watch and be part of this from the distance.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you very much, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care. Thank you. So the game is afoot. This is what we've all been waiting for. 3 teams on the ground have landed. USA 1, Poland 3, Austria 1. Austria 1 currently putting the line in the sand of what has to be achieved to win this 64th Gordon Bennett with just over 400 kilometers. For the teams currently flying in the lead right now, Swiss 3, just over 260 kilometers. What's going to happen over the next few hours? We'll be back with our evening show at 20:30, 8:30 local time here in Turin. Before we leave you, we're going to check in with producer Mark and see what's happening on the social wall. Any comments coming through, Mark?
We had a question about where the live tracking can be found.
The live tracking, you can find it online. Go to live.gordonbennett.aero and you can see all the tracking, and you can look at each individual team and see where they are and what's happening with them right now. Anybody else say hello to?
And Slavomir, who already asked a question on Ukraine, also asked, how is Torun like?
We absolutely love it. It's such a beautiful city. We're very fortunate to be in a hotel right in the center of town. It's just about 10 yards away until we're in the middle. We've got the light festival happening right now. We've had the balloon fiesta on the airfield. We've had the picnic there as well. The people, the organizers of this event have really pulled out all the stops to make it as big and as best as possible. And Turin is just full of people. It is absolutely full. It's full of life, restaurants, and the prices. It's really, really good. You want to get yourself here for vacation, I'm telling you. Anybody else, Mark?
Just York saying, great job, Gordon Bennett TV.
No problem at all. I'll give you my bank details. You can send the tips there. We'll be back with you for more Gordon Bennett TV tonight, 8:30, for me and the team. We'll see you then.